Alrighty, so here we are. So who are you? Where do you work? And what are we going to talk about here?
Hi Simon, Craig Chapman, Senior V Specialist from EMC. We're gonna, with all the announcements, I'm sure everybody's swimming. You know, you got Nicira, you got all these other things that we can do both with Cisco, EMC, and VMware technologies. And honestly, I thought of some crazy stuff about how we can have the software-defined data center be an omnipresent, omni-expanding concept, and we can get to a point where when I add things underneath it, as far as capacity and feature sets, I don't have any downtime.
Hey, well that's interesting. One thing before we go on with this, we should point out this is like none supported, none tested. It's just something based on the announcements here at VMworld that you've come up with, right?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time in my room last night thinking about nothing, and this came to me. So yeah, this is nothing that's like packaged or anything. This is just some dude that went crazy and was thinking about this stuff.
Alrighty, so hey, why don't you take us through it?
All right, so let's say, for instance, we're going to standardize on an infrastructure. Right here, we've got these wonderful yellow stickers, which are going to represent vBlocks in this solution. All right, so from a feature set, we're going to leverage vPlex from EMC. All right, vPlex gives us that ability to stretch a volume, and that volume is read and write accessible at both sides.
Alrighty, so this could be under, you know, over a stretched distance, effectively. It could be across town, for example.
Yeah, so as far as technologies, right now we're at 100 kilometers, right? So let's see, if we do English conversion, that's about 60 miles, right?
That's right.
I'm good, yeah.
You're good, you're good.
Okay.
There we go.
We can do math in the USA.
Multinational.
A little bit. There are some other technologies that are coming out from different vendors that allow us to stretch this distance further, because this is a SCSI acknowledgement distance, right? So I have to, when I do a SCSI registration or a SCSI activity, I'm going to say, hey, did you get this? You're going to come back to me and say, yes. I'm going to verify. You're going to come back to me again.
Right. So
that's where it's really 10 milliseconds round trip time, right? So it's a 10 ms RTT from a vPlex perspective.
Alrighty, so that's the prerequisite to make this happen.
Yeah, because now I need to have things omnipresent everywhere, and when I look at, I'm going to put the big I up there, the cloud.
The cloud, yep.
Right, I want to be able to access the solution from both spots at the same time on the fly without any interruption. Right, that's what I'm trying to do. So we've got vPlex, we're going to have OTV from Cisco.
Okay, so what's OTV? Take us through that, just very high level.
Yeah, OTV allows me to have IP presence here, right? So I've got IP at the same side, both sides, same IP fabric, same IP segment address, and my same IP subnets.
Alrighty, so that's sort of like the secret sauce a little bit. That's part of the formula.
As part of it, it provides myself a base layer infrastructure to have unipresent IP communication. So now my IP presence is omnipresent, my storage is omnipresent, right? So it's in both places at the same time.
Yep.
I've got other physical infrastructure at the same time. So really, we're just going to wrap this up in a, we're going to say it's an infrastructure bucket, okay? Right. So here's where we start layering other technologies. All right, so on top of this, I'm going to load the vCloud suite.
Okay, and just to point out, that's the new offering from VMware that was announced here at VMworld 2012.
Yeah, and so VMware 2012, they announced the vCloud suite, and the highest package includes vCloud Director, vShield Edge, and a bunch of other technologies which are embedded into the software, this software-defined data center concept, to give us the ability to really provide a platform that is transparent to all infrastructure beneath it.
Fantastic.
So on this, we have this, we've got all the networking stacks and everything we need, right? So we would leverage, VXLAN, or Nicira, right?
Okay, so Nicira, that's a new acquisition by VMware?
Yeah, that new acquisition gives them the ability to use SDM programmatic capabilities in the network layer so that they can turn it on and off through an API set natively within the product. VXLAN is also a vCloud Director technology that VMware and a bunch of Brocade, a bunch of other partners, Cisco supports it, are using to go across the network. So we're going to use OTV for our physical infrastructure. Our entire virtual world is going to run on VXLAN. So you can see we're layering these technologies to give us the ability to do whatever we want. So on top of this, we're going to layer, VDCs, orgs,
So VDCs, virtual data centers?
Yes, virtual data center, and that's part of the software-defined data center concept that will unify everything we're looking at from a cloud perspective and a physical infrastructure perspective below it.
Great stuff.
So now, all we have to load is on top of our VDCs, we have an app, we have an app, we have an app, right? And if I want to add any capacity down here, say I want storage, say I want CPU, say I want any of that, we already have the ability to add compute.
Yep, that's not a problem.
Not a problem, right? So I can use vMotion and all these other technologies to make compute seamless. Right? We've always had a problem adding storage in two places at once.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we use vPlex to give us the ability to scale capacity on demand, and we just add capacity, add capacity, add capacity. But I don't disturb any of this because it's transparent to what we're doing up here. OTV allows me to scale VLANs, right? So say I need to add hardware infrastructure from this vBlock, right? Or this vBlock. So we can structure and add capacity here from a physical infrastructure perspective. And right now this is the biggest portion of the pie, but you can see how this is going to shrink down real small from a management side. Once we get this going and we add capacity and just add a VLAN from a physical host perspective, OTV allows us to span that, and we don't have any disruption.
It's almost transparent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's transparent. It's making all of this right here completely transparent from a management perspective, because I don't want to spend my day in the infrastructure. I want to spend my day up here servicing that app thing that runs my business and really makes my company money.
So that's changing the focus, really, isn't it? As a systems administrator or, an IT manager, for example, you're shifting the focus from the infrastructure up the stack, up towards the applications layer.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is that now I have all this technology built into this layer, right? The application layer. Now we can think about cool things of embedding spring source applications, right?
Yep.
So applications that natively talk to my virtual infrastructure and scale with it on demand. vApplication Director, vFabric Application Director, vFabric Data Director. All of those technologies allow me to layer on from the virtual perspective and add capacity. And I don't have to have any disruption. I don't have to have any downtime. Now we really become omnipresent from a software virtual data center perspective. And we can just keep going and going and going. And when we add it, when we need to add infrastructure capacity, that's non-disruptive to our world.
Well, that's pretty good. That sounds like an amazing setup. But yeah, we're probably looking at sort of like larger enterprise companies implementing this type of solution rather than, definitely your SMB space, probably not appropriate. But, so for the enterprise though, this is fantastic, right?
Yeah, for the enterprise, this would be something that they'd want to do, and it'd take them a while to get there. There's only a few people that would be daring enough to do this in their home lab or in the SMB. And I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm saying it just might not be a fit because they'd be focused on so many things at once. And honestly, my SMB guys are stretched so thin already, I don't want to add any more burden on them.
Right. And the one thing we should point out once again, this isn't tried and tested at all. It's just a conceptual thing, which is part of the fun of it, right?
Yeah, this is all concept stuff, and we're not trying to advocate a solution. This is just how some of the ways that the technologies could all interoperate, all coexist, and you can use all of these technologies in the data center concept, just something we came up with.
Hey, well that's brilliant. That's the beauty of this industry, right? It's always evolving, new products come out, and those new products open up opportunities, and it gets you thinking, right? Wow, I could do something with this new product that's come out, opens doors, makes things a lot easier, and like here, it means you can focus your attention on the application layer rather than infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just some of that cool stuff that we can do on the fly every day, day in and day out, that allows us to think of this crazy stuff, and then, we realize it may work one day, and that'll be awesome.
That's brilliant. Well, Chappie, thanks very much. Keep thinking up those crazy scenarios here. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely food for thought.
Cool. Thanks, Simon. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Chappie.
Yep, say it.